Expose by mastering the mix is a second set of ears which will give you an unbiased and objective overview of how your music sounds in comparison to reference tracks, other mixes you have done, or genre presets. After watching this video, you will know if this program is a useful tool for you. Expose is a standalone program to analyze your audio and has a few interesting features. You start by simply importing or drag and drop audio files into the screen. The program will then automatically analyze the audio. Expose looks at 5 things: the loudness of the track, the volume peaks, the stereo information, the dynamics of your audio, and it checks the tonality, in other words how the frequency buildup is for the track. It will reference every one of these 5 points to whatever you have set as reference and show what can be adjusted. Now the program won't adjust anything in your audio. Expose will only show what could be changed. These adjustments have to be done in your DAW of choice. For loudness, volume peak, stereo info and dynamics, the reference is one of the presets you choose here. The display will show you if everything is fine in blue, and if something needs attention, it will be shown in red. This fully depends on which reference you have chosen. My reference now is mastering Spotify. By pressing F here, you will see exactly what can be done to fix the issues found by Expose. Expose gives the recommendation to limit a bit more. There are true peaks happening, and the program recommends to adjust the output limiter gain with 1.08 decibels. For stereo, it's mentioned that over here it strongly favors left or right channel, and you can go in to listen if you agree or that this is a stylistic choice. Right here it sounds fine to me and I'll leave it as it is. By the way, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you like this type of reviews and hate to read the manuals. I'll read the manuals for you. For dynamics, the results reported are that the audio doesn't have a broad dynamic difference between the sections in the audio. Now, if this was a pop song for commercial release, it was absolutely correct. But this happens to be an audio track for my YouTube videos, so this is an audio bed for my voiceover to sit on. You can pinpoint on an area of a track easily like this to see better what is happening. The info here to the left will also change accordingly to get a better idea of what is happening. One thing which helps with referencing is the menu here. This will adjust the playback of your audio to the reference you have chosen. So for Spotify, this track would sound this loud. Now by using the louder settings you will hear a limiter kicking in, which makes this not sound that great. Pumping compression all over. So this means that this audio really needs adjusting to make it sound good with this loudness. This info really helps with reflecting your own mixing choices, and you can export the recommendations as a text file to keep at hand if you make the adjustments in your DAW. I like that option. The EQ Compare feature will look at the tonal balance of your audio and compare it to reference frequency styles, which are featured in this menu, or your own reference track which you can load in and is featured on the default reference track. It works like this. The 0 dB line is the reference frequency curve. Your audio is presented in blue and shows the difference of your track to the reference file or preset. So it's not the actual frequency curve, just the difference. You can see that using different references will give very different results. If the differences are within 3 decibels, both higher and lower, you can consider your audio to have a very similar sound and tonality. So if you mix for a certain style or like a particular song, the info here will help you getting there. The differences can be shown in stereo, mid and side. This isn't EQ matching, this forces you to use your ears to make the right decision, which is always the better option. Now, the EQ reference is great to compare multiple tracks you have mixed for an EP or album. Take one track as the default reference and compare it to the others. The differences will show you what you might want to change to the other tracks to get a more similar sound. Very clear and helpful. I know analyzer tools like Expose are boring. They don't do anything magical to your mix or fix the mix for you. But these are amongst the most valuable programs to really understand your mixes and masters, which will help to let you make better decisions. That alone makes it worthwhile to get Expose in my opinion. The link to the program is in the description below. The video on screen will show you another analyzer tool to help you understand better how your mixes and masters will translate on all streaming platforms. Don't forget to subscribe and I will see you in the next video. Bye!